So you made the call, you followed the script, but you didn't get the response you wanted. Now what? What do you say? Like, this is the difference between being average and being good, or being good and being great. How quicker are you on your feet with rebuttals? Because you have to expect them, you have to anticipate them. So someone's going to say no. Someone's going to cut you off. Someone's not going to give you the time of day. They're going to try to shoo you away. But you need a way to combat their rebuttals. So I will say, if you want to elicit the response of yes, ask a no question. And the way that I incorporate this into my world is when I'm calling someone, instead of asking them, hey, John, is now a good time to talk? At which point people want to tell you no. So John's going to say, nope, it's not a good time to talk. I want to ask a question to where no is the answer I want. I want to elicit the no. So I may say to John, hey, John, is now a bad time to talk? And John's his go-to is no. Nope, it's not a bad time to talk. Awesome, John. I only need 5 or 10 minutes. Now that's not quite a rebuttal. That's just more of using words to elicit the response you want. Now let's talk about some common rebuttals that we're going to receive. The first one is going to be, if you're calling a real estate agent, they're going to say, I already have someone. Well, you need to be able to tell them, you know what, that's fantastic. Most of the realtors that I work with, when we first started working together, they already had someone. I'm calling you because I'm trying to add value to your business. I'm sure there's probably a couple tools in your tool belt that you currently aren't using. And if I can provide those tools, I can help you sell more homes. So I'm not looking to be your number one lender, but I am looking to be a valuable asset to your team. So the reason for my call is I was hoping we could grab 20 or 30 minutes together, maybe over coffee, so that I could discuss how I could help you sell 1 or 2 more homes this year. Okay, that's just a simple rebuttal where they're going to say, I already have a guy, I already have a girl, we love each other, we've been working together for 20 years. Your response, that's fantastic. Most of the realtors that I work with, we either started our relationship that way, or I know that I am one of several lenders that they work with, and I'm not their number one, and I'm okay with that, right? This is not a monogamous relationship. That's the script I would go into. Yeah, I totally get it. Monogamy's for the birds. I don't necessarily need to be your number one, but I do think I add some tools that maybe you don't have currently in your tool belt. So that's one. Oh, we already have an in-house lender, right? That's a common rebuttal. I would come right back with that. Say, yes, most of the realtors that I work with have an in-house lender. And here's what I know about in-house lenders, ma'am or sir, that in-house lenders, if they're doing a fantastic job, they're capturing, closing 20 to 25% of all of the buyer business that's available. And I also know that in-house lenders only have so much bandwidth. And there's going to be a time and a place that either they don't have the product or they don't have the time to service you and your client. So I want to respect the fact that you have an in-house lender, but I also want to be able to make my services available to you and your clients. But if we don't get an opportunity to meet, I'll never get an opportunity to A, get to know you, get to know your goals, figure out how I can bring value to your business, help you sell more homes, but more importantly, you'll never have an opportunity to know all about the tools I have to offer you and your clients that would probably help you sell an extra home or 2. So that's my rebuttal for how I'm going to overcome the whole in-house lender aspect. Now, how about this one? You're calling on a real estate agent, you're trying to get that meeting, you're trying to get them to sit down with you. They're like, oh, I don't need a lender, I only deal with sellers. Here's my rebuttal to that. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. If I was a realtor, not only would I only deal with sellers, I would also mandate that all offers were cash. And I'm saying that in jest, I'm saying that to be funny, right? But I would say to that agent, I think it's fantastic that you only deal with sellers, but please tell me that you're at least referring the home buyer leads to another agent in your office. And if so, who is that agent? Because I'd love to be connected with them. I'd love for you to refer me to them. I'd love for you to introduce me to them, because I want to figure out how I can make sure that those agents that you're referring your buyer leads to are capturing and closing those leads at the highest percentage. And if they're not, I want to figure out how I can help them capture and close more of those buyer leads so that they make more money. But more importantly, well, if I can help those buyer agents capture and close more business, not only am I helping them make more money, I'm helping you make more money. And then let's say the agent goes, I just do listings, I just work with sellers, and I don't refer buyer leads out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to meet then. You're leaving money on the table. I can introduce you to 3 or 4 fantastic realtors that I know, like, and trust, people that I would refer my own family to, so that you, at a minimum, when you get a buyer lead, you have an opportunity to refer them, and then you can get a referral fee. Because here's what I know, ma'am or sir, 70% of everyone that's selling a house is going to sell a house to go buy a house. And if you're not working them as buyer leads, and if you're not referring them, you're leaving money on the table. Let's meet so we can put together a system. I'll manage the system for you to make sure that we can help you make more money by referring those buyer leads out. So what I just did there is I didn't let them just get me off the hook, right? They weren't able to shoo me away. I understand their business. I understand how they are compensated. And I understand that it's highly unlikely that they just work with sellers. And if they do, then it's more likely that they're referring those buyer leads to someone. I want an introduction to that someone. If they're still going to tell me that they don't have a someone that they refer their buyer leads to, then perfect. Let me go ahead and collaborate with agents I currently do work with and introduce them to this listing agent, and voila, I've brought value to both this new person as well as the agents I'm currently working with. So those are 3 of the most common rebuttals that we as loan officers are going to hear from realtors. And these are my tips, tricks, tactics, or experiences of how you can overcome those rebuttals.